and he's on pace to have 4,500 passing yards with 1,200 rushing yards. If that's not MVP, I don't know what is. And I did say he's the MVP this year, MVP number 2. I said that.
These niggas tackle, I'm bringing the pack. I'm a roller with stars and I'm smoking on platinum. Got my eye on the prize so I don't do distractions. I'm coming back in.
Man, oh man. Yo, what it do? It's your boys Juice and Lil. We back here with another episode for y'all, man. And it's week 4. Just wrapped up. Week 5 is on its way. But man, oh man, week 4 was pretty eventful. I ain't gonna lie. It looks like the Titans, they lost to the Jets, got their first win. And it was looking pretty good. Bears, Justin Fields got his first win as a starting quarterback. Granted, it was the Lions, but hey. Browns, 14 points against the Vikings. All right. What else? Bills with the shutout. Against the Texans. I mean, it's not really shocking. Cowboys get the win over the Panthers. Over
You
the
impressed with
CMC-less
that?
Panthers. I mean, it was the CMC-less Panthers. So,
Darnold leads the league in rushing touchdowns.
that is tough. That is tough.
Who would ever
I
thought that?
lie.
If you had to bet money Sam Darnold would lead the league in rushing by week 5, that's probably a high bet. Like, you would probably win $1 million if you betted that. But
you probably would.
But there was 3 teams who all got a dub who were winless last week. We all talked about the Jets,
Jets,
the Giants, and of course the Lions and Jags still are winless. But both New York teams won this week, and Saquon, he looked normal, 126 yards on 20 carries. Daniel Jones still balling. And for the Jets and Titans, honestly, I'm not surprised because they had no Julio. Granted, they had no AJ Brown. Those are 2 best wideouts. I'm pretty sure at times they would summon some practice squad players at wideouts during that game. I watched a little bit of it because, of course, I have Derrick Henry in fantasy. So oftentimes the Jets would come out box with nine people in the box on Derrick Henry. And if you don't have the receivers to get off the line like AJ Brown, Julio can. So, I mean, Ryan Tannehill, he didn't play really bad, but he didn't do obviously enough. Zach Wilson got his first first win as a quarterback for the Jets. He's now 1-3. That was a much needed win. I was wondering when they would win because their schedule is okay, but the Jets, we all know, wasn't really a promising team. Now to the Giants, they easily could have been 3-1. I mean, they lost to the football team off the penalty, and that would gave them 2-2 right there. They lost to the Falcons by 3. So they had a lot of situations where they definitely could be positive if things swung the other way, but they got an important dub against a New Orleans Saints team who they're not struggling as of recently. I mean, they beat the Packers 38-3. I called that a fluke too. Like I said,
they're pretty average. Average.
Yeah, I agree. They're average right now. Michael Thomas, I'm pretty sure he comes back like week 8. So I got to see how he plays with the Saints. If maybe that helps them become a little bit better. I mean, that would easily be Jameis's best target next to Kamara, of course. But also the Colts got to win. Another team that was winless. They beat the
Right.
Dolphins 27-17. Of course, they didn't have Tua, but Jacoby Brissett is a caliber quarterback to say the least.
Right.
And you brought it up before the show. You want to talk about the Browns? They only put up 14 on the Vikings.
I do want to talk about them, and this is why I've been saying for a long time I'm not sold on them. Y'all was overhyping them. I'm not sold on them. Why? Let me tell you why. They lost week one. They looked good week one, though. I'll give them that, but they still lost. Records are deceiving. Second game, which was the Texans, which was a very losable game for them if Tyrod Taylor doesn't get hurt. Last week you played a rookie and a sorry coach who has no idea what he's doing. Even then, on top of that, you put up 26 points. It wasn't because of you, Baker. Your running game was flawless. That's what it was. But and then you put up 14 on the Vikings. The Vikings. Like what do we?
Well, the
What do
Vikings beat
we?
Seattle 30-17 the week before.
My thing is,
And
the
Seattle just beat the
Vikings
Niners.
are the
28-21.
Vikings a playoff team?
Probably not. Not with Green Bay in that division.
So if you're putting the Vikings against what people are calling a Super Bowl contender, and you only putting up 14 points on them,
What
and
about
Baker
y'all?
had 155 with no touchdowns. He threw the ball 15 for 33, 155. If Nick Chubb don't rush for 100 yards, if Kareem Hunt don't rush for 69 yards and a touchdown, they don't win. They don't win that game.
What
It's
about y'all,
just
though?
simple.
Y'all barely beat the Lions. They took a historic kick.
First off, we know why we didn't beat the Lions. I think everybody in the NFL, besides Lamar Jackson haters, would know why that game was closer than what it should have been.
I mean, but still, I mean, a win is a
My
win.
thing is, nobody's looking at us. Everybody's doubting us. That's the difference. Everybody sees the Browns as like, oh, Baker this, Baker that. They're gonna. Let me read you something. Not read you something. Let me tell you something.
Tell me
You know
something.
Baker. You know Baker has less passing yards than Ben Roethlisberger.
Mm.
He has the least passing yards in the AFC North. That's
Okay.
tough. But he's a contender though. He's a
They're 3-1.
contender. They're supposed to be contenders.
They're three and
Man,
one.
listen. I'm not sold on the Browns, bro. Records are deceiving. I'm just not sold on them. I'm just not sold on them.
Goodness
Now,
gracious.
a game that I want to talk about is the Cardinals and Rams.
Mm.
It was fresh out the gates. Cardinals was just coming out and they was doing their thing. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie. Kyler Murray, 268 and 2 touchdowns. It don't look like he did stuff, but it's just like,
Well, hey, give
Chase
the Cardinals
Edmonds.
their credit now.
Um, I don't think this happening again. I don't
Oh
see
my
this happening
goodness.
again. 4 receptions for 67 yards for DeAndre Hopkins.
It's Jalen Ramsey on them. Come on now.
Exactly. So if
Come on now.
Chase Edmonds don't rush for 120, if James Conner don't get them 1 yard touchdowns, I mean,
Bro,
but
you
hey,
and
I ain't
these
gonna
what
say that.
ifs.
I can't say right. I was just about to say I can't say them ifs. I can't say the what ifs. You know, Daryl Henderson, he did come back. Matthew
Mm-hmm.
Stafford, Cooper Cup kind of cooled off this week. Cooled off. But yeah, I think I just it was just a tough game. I don't think anybody necessarily played bad. Just one team played better than the other one. That's it. That's all it is. But I will say this: when they meet again, I think Rams. I think the score flips.
Mm.
I think the score flips. The Rams win. I think the Rams tie it up, and I would not be surprised if they met in the playoffs. They
The
met in the
Rams and
playoffs. I
Cardinals
wouldn't. Wouldn't be
My
surprised.
thoughts on it. I mean, Kyler was definitely sensational. He definitely helped them, and their defense, their secondary is underrated. They got Buda Baker back there, Byron Murphy Jr. as well. I think they have a pretty good, solid secondary. Their defense is definitely almost an elite category after, especially what they did at Titans Week 1. What was it? Chandler
Mhm.
Jones himself had like 5 sacks.
Yeah.
Like that's insane to think about. I mean, I still don't think they're going to win the division. I got the Rams in that boat as well. But
Right.
defensively, they're definitely better than they were last year, of course, because they had Chandler Jones back in the lineup and J.J. Watt. His
Mhm.
presence is always felt on a team. And this year they got 10 sacks already, like I was talking about, which would put them in the top 10 in sacks.
Right.
But of course, their offense is definitely the story. AJ Green, you saw that touchdown he had. He just looked like old AJ Green. That was a big time catch by him. I
Simply
honestly,
reviving careers.
I honestly didn't even think he was getting a lot of playing time there. I mean, Cardinals they got top 10 in touchdowns per game. They're they're really good on both sides of the ball. As of right now, of course. I mean, but Kyler especially, he's probably the MVP right now. That's what people got. Him and I guess Josh Allen and Herbert are right up there. Could throw an A-Rod. He hasn't thrown a pick since week 1. So I think
Mm.
I think the Cardinals, like you said, they'll see the Rams again, but it'll be in Arizona this time. But speaking of LA teams, Chargers,
Oof.
Raiders.
Tough,
Didn't you
man.
have the Chargers winning?
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I they just played better, bro. The Raiders in like the first quarter, majority
Zero
of the quarter,
yards.
they had 0 yards. They had 0 yards.
They had 0 yards the whole quarter.
That's if you getting 0 yards in a quarter, you not winning the game. I don't care if it's
Mm,
close. You're not winning that game for 0 yards in the first quarter. Justin Herbert balled out though, 222 yards, 3 touchdowns. He balled out. Austin Eckler, he definitely balled out. 15 carries, 117 yards, and a touchdown. And on top of that, he even got 28 yards receiving and a touchdown. So that's tough.
mm.
That is pretty tough. But looking at the Raiders, they just didn't play. They just didn't play that good. Derek Carr, 196, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Uh, then Darren Waller. I will say this: that Hunter Renfro guy. I thought week 1 was just a fluke, but nah, he doing his thing. He
Yeah,
low
he's
key tough.
good.
He low key tough.
I've been knowing about
He's
Hunter
kind of
Renfro.
Henry Ruggs. He's kind of breaking out of his shell. What I call it a breakout year. Maybe not. But he is doing better than previous years. I'll say that. I'll say his targets are getting up there. Um,
Hmm.
Josh Jacobs, I think he was back. It
Yeah,
was
he
his
came
first game
back.
back.
Yep,
I
off the
don't.
ankle injury.
Just the offense didn't show up. Just the offense didn't show up, or just the defense for the Chargers, which just played extremely well.
Okay.
Extremely well.
Now I got a question. Being the Chargers' best team in the AFC right now?
No, no. Top four for sure.
So who you got
Top
being
four.
the best?
Based off pure dominance, I'd say the Bills right now are probably the best.
Not bad.
If if I have to
Not
say
bad choice.
if I had to say the four, no order. Bills, Chargers. I mean, I guess you can throw the Chiefs in there. Chiefs.
Bills, Chargers, Chiefs. That's 3.
I don't gotta say the fourth. Y'all already know the fourth. I don't gotta say it. I don't gotta say it. Y'all
Jesus.
know the fourth. Come on, man. Because like I said, I'm not sold on the
Um.
Browns, and I don't see anybody else who's better. Let's be real.
To me, I'm sold on the Browns. I think they're the best team right now. Their defense is different this year. I really like their defense right now. I can't be the Bills. They dominated the teams they're supposed to. 35 zip a two-less Dolphins. Their
Yeah.
defense has been having struggles all year. They didn't even know if Xavier Howard wanted to even play for them. He probably still wants to be traded.
Yeah.
Then they beat the Texans. Come on, the Texans without Watson is literally like almost a practice squad team with Brandon Cooks, a practice squad team with Brandon Cooks, and then on defense Justin Reed and Bradley Roby. I mean they don't really have any names outside Watson. And they 40 zipped them. And the
Yeah.
quarterback they got starting is a rookie anyways. And then their one win, I mean their one loss was to Pittsburgh, who's getting exposed like hell by the media right now. Who's 1-3. They don't have JJ. Well, they had JJ Watt last game, but come on, they weren't going to beat the Packers. And then A-Rod and them's cooking. The Bills, they're doing what I expect them to do. The Browns, though, I didn't think their defense would tear up Justin Fields that badly. With 9 sacks, nine
Bro,
sacks.
that's just Matt
They
Nagy
held,
not calling the right plays for him.
and I know the Vikings didn't have Dalvin Cook, but come on, Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson are a hard guard. Those are 2 elite receivers. The Vikings scored on their first possession. Didn't score the rest of the game. Didn't even get a field goal.
Man, but it's
That's
like
that's
the
great defense.
Vikings. The Vikings are the Titans of the NFC.
Oh my God!
You
Heck
got your
no.
two elite. You got your 2 elite receivers with your elite running back. If you don't have one or the other, you don't succeed. Dalvin Cook out. Obviously, I could care less about your backup running back. I'm stopping Thielen and Jefferson. Vice versa. It's the same thing. What are the odds Julio and AJ Brown are out? You stack the box. Because why? I could care less who you throwing to. I leave them on the island. I leave them. They good. It's the
And
same thing.
also, the Browns easily could have been 4-0. That win against the Chiefs, all they had to do was hold the ball for the last couple minutes. But the good thing the Chiefs won because they would have been 1-3 now.
But Nick
But
Chubb is a fumble. Fumble.
yeah, he did fumble. He did fumble. Looking at the Browns schedule, I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out in the next 2 weeks. They play the Chargers
Mm-hmm.
next week in Los Angeles. Then going back to the Cardinals, they actually play them week 6.
Yeah.
So I think that will be an interesting game. Going to the NFC though, do you think the Cardinals are the best team in the league? Not even the NFC, the league now. Only
League.
undefeated team standing.
No. I still
No.
got Rams. Okay. Yeah. Okay. They beat the Rams. Sure. But listen. 30. The only. You can really only say week 1 was a blowout. 38-13. And then you
Mhm.
scrape by the Vikings. You were losing majority of the game to the Jags. And then, okay, I'll give you that. You beat the Rams. But I'm not sold on that because I'm looking at the Rams and they're completely obliterating teams. Good teams. I will say that. Not good. All right. Well, average teams. They beat up the Bears, beat the Colts, beat the Super Bowl champs. Super Bowl champs. Supposed to be the best defense in the league. They lost to the Rams, but now they're about to play the Seahawks, and I think they shouldn't have a problem with the Seahawks. I think they shouldn't
Mhm.
have a problem with them. That
Okay.
DK Jalen Ramsey matchup gonna be good though. It's gonna be fun. But I
All
want to talk
right.
about I want to talk about the Chiefs.
Go ahead.
That if your offense don't put up 42 points, you lose. Why? Because
That's their job.
your defense allowed 30 to
Come
the
on, Dustin.
Eagles.
We've been known their defense wasn't bad. I mean,
Their
good.
defense is sorry.
Uh huh.
Bro, this defense is garbage. They put up 33 offense. The offense put up 33, 35, 24. And we know what happens when whatchamacallit. We know what happens when you score like 35. Like we all know you have to score like at least 35 plus points to beat them. Chargers put up 30, but I think their defense shut that down. We put up 36, and they was about to put up 30. If they had someone to stop Tyreek Hill for at least one of those 3 touchdowns, I think Eagles come and win. I think they
Mm,
win that game.
yeah, Tyreek Hill definitely showed out there.
He scorched
Um,
them.
the Chiefs defense, bottom in top 3 worst rushing defense right now. And you could clearly see, teams like y'all, the Eagles, and the Chargers, they had a lot of success on the ground. Well, not really the Eagles so much, but the Chargers and Ravens definitely had a lot of success on the
Shoot,
ground when they
Browns
beat.
did too.
Yeah, the Browns, yeah, but they didn't win, of course.
They didn't win. Yeah.
But going to I guess the game of the week, honestly, it was the Sunday night game.
Mm,
Brady returned to
the return.
Foxborough, and it was a first half. It was Bill
Pretty
Belichick had Brady rattled 7-3,
it was pretty
7-6
difficult.
at halftime. It was pretty hard for the Bucks to move the ball and into the end zone at least. They kicked, I think, three to four field goals, and they won 19-17 over the Pats. Now, how do you feel about the call, the last call of the game, 4th and 3? Do you go for it in the rain or kick the field goal to the Pats?
I think you at least try to get them off sides. I
Okay.
think you at least try to do that. If they don't budge, okay, then you at least attempt a field goal. But because yeah, I think you got to try and draw them off. You got to try and draw them off sides. In the rain, you can slip. Somebody can slip and accidentally fall over the line of scrimmage. Hey, I don't know. You never know. But I will say
That's
this.
funny.
Mac Jones outplayed Brady.
Mm, a lot of
Mac
people have been
Jones
saying that.
outplayed Brady. Listen, 31 for 40. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think it was the third quarter. He had like 16 straight completions, which was
Yeah.
Brady's record. He almost broke Brady's record.
Mm.
That's tough, man.
Brady did get the
275.
all-time passing yard record too
Oh, he did get that. He
that
did get
night.
that. Shout out to him though. Shout out to him.
How
But
ironic.
but he got 275 with 2 TDs and a pick. That wasn't really his fault. I wouldn't really say that pick is his fault. Um, Tom Brady, 22 for 43, 269, and you could definitely see he was a little baffled during the whole first
Mm.
half. He was a little baffled. There were some drops, but it was raining, so I'll give it to him. I mean, it wasn't like it was in their chest that he could have just. But it was like off the fingertips. So I'm like, okay, cool. This game could have went either way.
Yeah.
Nobody was dominating the other. It could have went either way. It was a field goal after field goal. Well, for the Bucks, it was field goal after field goal. But
Yeah.
it was just Mac Jones outplayed Brady. It could have went either way. But this is probably the only time Tom will go up against Belichick. I don't see it happening again.
You don't think they'll play
Unless,
next year? You don't think the
and
league's
I was
gonna
gonna
do
say,
that?
unless they purposely do it next year, but it wouldn't be as interesting next year, honestly. I don't think it. I don't think it'd be
Why
as
not next
serious.
year? Oh, that's serious. Okay,
I
yes.
I think you only play them. I think after the first time, it's just not gonna be like as like meaningful. You know what I mean? Like think about
Uh
the stakes. Tom Brady, you got him 7 Super Bowls. You going back to Gillette Stadium for the first time against Bill in front of the crowd. The crowd is back. You're not gonna get that same energy a second time. You're not
huh.
gonna get the same hype a second time. That's why you only gotta do that one time. You can only do that one time. But
Okay.
Tom can take his
Yeah.
win. He beat every single team in the NFL. Only a select few players have done that.
hmm
But so
hmm
he takes it and he retires with it.
Bill Belichick is now 8-12 without Brady on the roster, um, which is not a good record. But
Mm-mm.
one last thing I wanted to talk about your Ravens. Of course, Lamar, he threw over 300 yards for the second time in his career against a tough secondary in the Broncos. Marquise Brown, 4 catches, 91 yards, a touchdown. You saw the beautiful dive out he had. The Ravens, they got 4 straight home games. Y'all winning all of them? Colts, Chargers, Bengals, Vikings. 4 straight. And all at home.
I wouldn't be surprised if we did. The Chargers, I think, is probably gonna be the toughest game out of all those. I'm not
Yeah.
disrespecting any other team,
What about the
but the
Bengals?
Chargers is definitely one of the hardest. I think the
Three
Bengals will
and
be the
one
second
Bengals.
hardest.
3-1 Bengals.
I
Okay.
think the Bengals will be the second hardest, but I wanna I
Minnesota
wanna
will have
say something.
Dalvin back. Then.
That is gonna be tough. That is gonna be tough. But we're home, the home crowd. I don't know. That may be good too. That may be good too. But it's just like,
You feel like your team's favorite still?
yeah, just by a little bit though. By a little bit. Maybe like by 10. By 10. Maybe like maybe
Yeah,
like
just by 10.
27-17. Maybe like 27-17.
Well, y'all play Monday night this week. So, Lamar does perform well in prime time, usually.
hmm But let me holla at y'all real quick. Last week, Lamar Jackson had a 4th and 19 converted. Right? Beautiful throw. But we're talking about the kick. Understandable. Understandable. Greatest kick in history. But nobody's talking about the 4th and 19. Yesterday, Lamar beat the Broncos throwing the ball the entire game. But what are we talking about? Us running the ball with 3 seconds left. What?
Keep the
Why?
streak alive.
So when Lamar does something, y'all completely just y'all disregard that and talk about something else. Why is nobody talking about Lamar throwing 300 yards and how he could have had 300 yards, 350 last week?
Mm.
Lamar is the only person in the league right now to have 1,000 yards passing and 250 yards rushing, and he's on pace to have 4,500 passing yards with 1,200 rushing yards. If that's not MVP, I don't know what is. And I did say he's the MVP this year, MVP number 2. I said that. This game put the league on notice
Mm.
because usually we'd probably have 100 yards rushing by maybe halftime, midway through the third quarter. We didn't get 100 yards rushing to the last play of the game, and we beat them by 16
Yeah, y'all
off a
defense.
straight throw in the air on what's supposed to be a top underrated secondary. What was it, Kyle? Was Kyle or Kendall Fuller?
Kyle Ford, Patrick
Kyle Fuller,
Surtain,
Patrick Surtain,
Justin
Justice
Simmons.
Simmons.
They still
burning
had
them up.
Von Miller. They
And you
didn't have
still got
Bradley
Von
Chubb,
Miller on the
though.
line.
Bradley Chubb's out.
Mind you, we lost Villanueva, and they purposely put Von Miller on the other side of this practice squad lineman that we just put in, fresh off the practice squad. They purposely put Von Miller on that side, and he was still throwing dots.
It's hard to contain Lamar.
But we not talking about it. Why? Because everybody, oh, you know, they ran the ball with 3 seconds left. And I personally don't see a problem with it. Everybody's like, oh, well, you should have needed. Well, the Broncos shouldn't have wasted all 3 of their timeouts trying to come down and get a score. You gave us time to get that. If you didn't want us to get it, you could have kneeled the timeout. But nah, y'all wanted to make the game closer to what it should have. But hey,
y'all made the Broncos punt 10 out of 12 times. That's pretty good defense.
You know what's funny? People talking about some
2 possession was a touchdown and the pick. So
you know what's funny? People saying, "Oh, if Teddy didn't get that concussion, they would have won." I can promise you they would. It would have been the same outcome.
Wasn't it like 17-7 when he went down?
It would have made it would not have made a difference. It wouldn't have made a difference. Because hold on, bro. I got something. Man, it was just hilarious to me how people actually said that. Teddy Bridgewater, right? This is the people that said if Teddy Bridgewater didn't go out, they would have won. At halftime, Teddy Bridgewater was 7 for 16 for 65 yards. And they would have won that game. Drew Lock came in 113 yards. He played better than Teddy. And we talking about the Teddy didn't go out, they would have won. Please. Come on, man.
Oh my goodness.
Lamar threw more than the both of y'all combined, and nobody's talking about it.
Interesting.
Crazy.
All right.
You know what's funny? It's less completions too. Drew Lock completed 12 completions. Teddy completed 7. That's 19 completions. Lamar completed 22 of them. You telling me, bro? That's.
It was a very good week 4, of course.
It really
in the
was.
NFL. Thursday night football is Rams Seahawks in Seattle. That could be a good one. No, it's hard to win in this. It's hard to win in that 12-man stadium. But I think Rams gonna bounce back.
Yeah.
Off that.
That Seattle defense is. I'm not sure.
And then they got a London game, the Jets and Falcons. They're gonna be in London Sunday morning.
Give me the Jets. I think Jets go back to back. I think they win back to back. Yeah.
Wow.
I think they go back to
Falcons.
back.
I like how they played last week against the football team. They barely lost it. I like how their offense was moving it, especially Cordell Patterson. He was balling. He's having a good year as a running back / wideout.
He is. He is. But yeah, man, I think that's gonna wrap up this episode, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. You already know how it is. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. Make sure you turn the post notifications on so you know when we post. And until next week, it's your boys Juice and Lou, and we out of here. Peace.